Lock us in, load us in, pop in that 8-track, spin the tape. Here we go. Hey now everyone, welcome back to our first post-Star Wars celebration, Chicago 2019. Holy shit, that's a mouthful celebration. We are back. That's right, Nick and I, we survived Star Wars Celebration 2019. It was a fantastic event. I love Celebration more and more to everyone I go to, and quite frankly, Chicago is one of my top, if not the top celebration I've been to. Celebration 2 is always going to be near and dear to my heart because it was the first one I ever went to. It's the first time I ever cosplayed, and it was quite the experience. It was just also new, but I'll tell you what, man, Chicago was great.
Chicago, yeah.
I had some bias. I mean, I got in some pretty fantastic panels that I think definitely amplified it, but, you know, I got to see you again in person. We got to do our thing in person.
Yep.
We got to see our intern Ryan in person. It's just a great event to be at if you're a Star Wars fan, especially if you're a Star Wars fan that is tired of hearing all the negative bullshit about Star Wars. This is one place you can honestly go to, and you know you're going to be around people that love it as much as you do, that aren't focused on nonsense like the SJW stuff, the woman stuff, the people of color stuff. I mean, that was evident during the episode 9 panel, right, Nick, when we gave Kelly Marie a standing O, and then she got a subsequent standing O when she came out on the Star Wars Time
or the Star Wars show. Yeah.
I know, I'm projecting. I wish that was you and I on the stage.
Should have been.
The Star Wars show people, Andy and that other dummy. I like Andy. I don't like the guy. Sorry,
I can't remember his name.
But
yeah,
exactly, because
Anthony.
No one cares.
Anthony?
No one gives a fuck about that guy. Andy, we love you. The other guy, sign me up. My beard looks better anyways, and I don't have to read fucking cue cards to talk about Star Wars.
That's right. We just have
Yes,
the knowledge inside of us.
Thank you. I am a hater, but I will be, because sometimes I don't think people should have the positions they do in Star Wars land. Anyways, point being at Star Wars Celebration was super refreshing for a Star Wars fanboy like myself. I didn't feel like things were going to hell. I didn't feel like I was around a bunch of angry motherfuckers trying to ruin everything, bitching about The Last Jedi, this, that, and the other thing. So anyways, Nick, let's go ahead. I mean, we wanted to do something Tuesday, but quite frankly, we were both fucking beat.
Yeah,
I mean, you just got
back
home.
Yeah,
I was still probably hung over from what you fuckers did to me Saturday night.
Yeah, Matt got heavily drunk on Saturday night, and also that led to, for all of you who follow the Star Wars Time Show Instagram page, that led to a video of me being posted as we were at a burlesque show
without permission, because again, I was just I was out of my mind. I mean, I wasn't like a bozo drunk, you know, pissing on myself. Or people had to carry me. I just definitely wasn't with it.
Yeah,
I was borderline blacked out there towards the end. Don't really remember much what happened after about 1 a.m. But whatever. I got up. I threw up a few times, and I still made the Mandalorian panel, and it was worth it. I might have felt like shit, but you know what? Sometimes there's things made that can cure that stuff pretty quickly, but I will not speak their name.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. So, like we said, we before we get into our typical fandom segment, we want to do kind of a top 5 moments, a brief recap of the best things or experiences we had at Star Wars Celebration. So, you know, I threw up some in our Slack chat here.
Yep.
And I don't know if you agree with some of these. I'm assuming you do, because I believe these were the big ones. And the last one, obviously, is a little
personal,
narcissistic item. Yeah, a little personal, but I had to throw it up there. And you people know I hate myself as an artist. I don't think I deserve anything, So the fact that I'm even willing to say that it was a good moment it shows some growth, right, Nick? It shows some growth.
It's a step in the right direction for sure. Right. And I mean, it was.
I actually had people come up to me and say, hey, we like what you do. And to me, that honestly is a shock. So I appreciate that. But anyways, let's get down to it. I mean, honestly, Nick, how can we not mention top 5 moments of Celebration 2019 without talking about the Rise of Skywalker?
I know.
Reveals. I mean, like I said, the Rise of Skywalker panel in and of itself had, in my opinion, 3 top moments. I mean, we got the teaser, the title, and the Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, those moments are almost separate ones in themselves because as they all came up during the trailer, it was like a whole wave of emotions hit you every time, you know? The trailer opens. I mean, I was watching it from home. You were home from the hotel. You were in
Which
the
sucks because, by the way,
Yeah.
we haven't. I mean, we talked about this, but if we knew how they were actually going to do security at this event, Nick should have been at this goddamn panel.
I could have got in, but you know, I'm glad that I was able to get the coverage out. I was able to get things up quickly. In fact,
we took one for the team, and we appreciate
it. Most people won't know this, but I got my breakdown post up before most of the big outlets. Like I got mine up before Nerdist. I got it up before like all of these people. I was up there very
and you people take note of this shit because you guys need to understand. Sometimes these smaller sites like us, we get the stuff done first. The problem is we're small, so we get buried. We get no search engine love. So if you are a fan, please bookmark StarWarsTime.net. These types of drops, you're probably going to get a reaction, speculations, whatever, insights first from the little guys like us.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but it was fantastic. I mean, I cried. My eyes started watering up immediately as soon as I saw the Lucasfilm splash, and that was even before Rey showed up on screen. And then from there, it was just a fantastic ride all the way through. I mean,
unreal.
It was beautiful. Unreal. It was beautiful.
I mean, we've already broke down the trailer. You can check that out. It's one of the episodes in the 30s, maybe 31, 32. I don't know, but we did our whole Rise of Skywalker panel breakdown, trailer speculations, projections, this, that, and the other thing, another cast. So that's not why we're here, but it was. I'm not gonna lie, being there, just a magical moment. Top 5, top 2 Star Wars fan moment. And in the end, dude, just check out my reaction video. I mean, that is all genuine. It's out there on StarWarsTime.net or on our YouTube channel. That's genuine shit. This is not me filming my face. You can see it. I was filming the trailer, so I'm not like trying to, look at me, I'm reacting. That is just how I took that trailer in. If you listen to it, you'll understand why that was a moment that justifies my Star Wars fandom. That is why I live. That's why I love Star Wars. It's for moments like that. So clearly, Episode 9 panel was huge, Nick. Moving on, we also had other major reveals at the show. And the next one I had here, obviously, was a big one for us gamers, was the Fallen Order reveal.
Yeah, I mean, the Jedi Fallen Order panel was one that we were attempting to go to, but, like, we got there like 2 hours early and the line was already packed.
People, it was busier than the Episode 9 panel. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that just goes to show you the power of gamers and how starved gamers are for a legit AAA single player narrative focused Star Wars game.
I mean, those words that you just said is why why we're so excited for this game. Narrative focused single player Star Wars story game. I mean, this is something that we haven't had in earnest since the first Force Unleashed game. I mean, you had the second one that was kind of a throwaway that really kind of mishmashed a lot of things together. This game is putting us in the shoes of a brand new character that nobody's ever heard of before. And the thing is, this is how you know this is a huge, very successful, possibly game-changing game. I mean, this is happening in the prequel time period, and Matt is not immediately shitting on it. I mean, like, that is...
Exactly. I love it. And Nick's right. I mean, I obviously have my live-action prequel movie hate gimmick. Okay? I'll admit, that's one of my go-tos if I want to, get a little fiery on a cast. I don't hate the prequel era. I honestly think it's one of the most interesting eras in Star Wars because it's supposed to tell us how we got to the shit we first fell in love with in the original trilogy, right? I mean, this is why we watched Darth Vader storming through the Tantive 4.
Yeah.
I don't feel we got that in the movies, but we are getting it now, luckily, through secondary shit, tertiary shit, the Clone Wars. To me, still, that is the definitive prequel era narratives you need to watch. You don't need the movies, you need the Clone Wars, and we're going to be talking about more Clone Wars here in a few seconds. So go with that. I do not dislike the prequel era. I enjoy it. I think there's great stories to be told. I think where this one's taking place is prime for great storytelling because it's post Order 66. It's post the Republic falling. The Empire is rising. Vader is in existence. You got Palpatine. You got the Inquisitors. And now you got this dude. What's his name? Caleb? Or
it's
no, not
Cal
Caleb.
Kestis.
Yeah, Cal Kestis. You got Cal here, played by
Cameron Monaghan from Gotham. I mean,
right? It's going to be great, man. I mean, unless the gameplay is just terrible, I don't know how this isn't going to be a fantastic Star Wars experience.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much to learn here, and this is something that we've known about. You know, this era and this time period is something that we've known about for a long time. I mean, Jedi made it out of Order 66, and that's what this is focusing on. Cal is probably not going to be the only Jedi that we encounter in this video game. Just like in Force Unleashed, there were, rogue Jedi that helped Starkiller along his path. Ram Koda was the master that he found on that trash planet. And more than likely, Cal is going to link up with some other Jedi in this game to try to survive during this time period. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, do yourself a favor, go watch it. There's a lot of interesting themes that play.
Oh, you're right. I mean, we can't really say that he is the only Jedi left. I mean, clearly he's not. I mean, Ahsoka existed in this time period.
Exactly. So did
Caleb
Kanan.
Doom, a.k.a. Kanan, existed. Then Ezra came around. So, I mean, as much as we all want to believe that Order 66 did wipe them all out, it didn't.
No,
I mean, it's even other Jedi have been explored in the new Vader comic run too. So Order 66 was pretty effective, just not that effective.
Yeah, it was
because it's called narrative convenience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to write new stories or new video games, we can just say, oh yeah, this person made it out.
Yeah, if Order 66 was as effective as Palpatine wanted it to be, there would never have been an original trilogy to start with. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, Yoda would have been wiped out. Obi later. Game over. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But, hey, guess what? He's coming back, and that's fucking great. I can't wait to see how that happens.
It's good stuff. All right, next
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We have the Mando reveal. The Mandalorian television show reveal.
This was my hangover reveal.
Yeah, and this was my...
But I'm glad this is the reveal I was at least feeling like garbage.
Yeah, this was my only lottery panel win that I was able to attend, and this show.
And he still got in on my infant pass because
I know.
There was zero security at Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
Yeah, so I actually got into the Galaxy Overflow stage, and Matt was like, "Hold on, I have a child pass that we may be able to use." So
of course,
we got in no problem. But I mean, this is something that we talked about again in our recap cast for this particular panel. This show, from what we can see and what we learned from John and from Dave, Pablo, from Gina, and
can't
from
fucking wait,
Carl.
man.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's everything that we wanted. The footage. If you haven't seen it, it's gonna be hard to find. You can go on YouTube and you can find some grainy cell phone videos. They did not release it outside of the people who were seeing it.
Yeah, they really haven't. I'm surprised. I mean, they didn't release the Clone Wars shit or the Resistance stuff either.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is super locked down, and it was, which makes it really special for the people who was there. Like I felt like I got to see something that nobody else experienced.
I mean, you definitely, by going to Mando, you got way more exclusive looks than Episode 9.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was super happy with it. All the actors seemed very happy to be there, although they couldn't say much.
Wasn't that the best part? Just seeing, Pedro, Gina, Carl, just seeing how fucking excited they were.
My favorite part of it, it's not even related to Star Wars. It's when Carl came out, Carl Weathers. He came out and he did the Apollo Creed. He did the. I loved it. I mean, like,
that was awesome.
That got me fired up from the moment that he walked in.
Mando. Nick, when we did our pre-celebration deal, I believe we did our rankings of what we think were going to be the best, and I'm pretty sure I said Episode 9 and then Mando, and that's really how it turned out.
That definitely holds true.
It was great. I mean, we got a behind-the-scenes kind of featurette. We got a straight-up fucking scene, basically the first 10 minutes of Episode 1.
Yep.
And then we got the sizzle reel trailer, and it just, I mean, fuck. I mean, the practical effects John went with, the look of the world, I mean, the tone, it's kind of got that Game of Thrones feel to it. I think this is going to be unlike anything a Star Wars fan has ever experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. There is nothing out there, not even Solo. Solo is a movie that exists and kind of works within the underworld.
Yeah.
But even
this is something brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the holiday special was live action for TV. Okay, whatever, that was first. This, to me, like Pedro kept saying, this is the first real live action Star Wars show for TV, or streaming in this case.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm telling you, from what we saw, this is unlike anything you've ever experienced. It's not a movie. You're gonna be getting 10 1-hour shots of awesome.
Yeah, and look, for those of you who are hesitant about Disney Plus, let me just break down, because this was revealed early this week. $6.99 a month, $70 a year. That's your price point.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Get out of here. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest deal on the face of the earth for streaming at this point, considering the content you're gonna get. You're gonna get the entire Disney fucking vault for $7 a month, Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
Let alone the custom Star Wars shit and Marvel shit.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Mando day one release. This is November 12th is the day that it comes out. That's also the day
I was just getting excited that Vudu has Little Mermaid marked down for $15.
Now you can get it for free, $7 a month.
Yeah, now I'll just wait till this fall and get the service and just tell Charlie that it doesn't exist until later.
Yeah, exactly.
She really wants to watch it. But if I can only spend $7 a month to have the entire Disney catalog, okay. I mean, that is the biggest no-brainer I've ever heard.
Yeah,
of.
easy money there. So Mando panel, reveal stuff for the people who were at the panel was fantastic.
Loved it.
John and Dave were absolute pleasures to just listen to talk. Like, it was like
I felt bad for Dave at time because people really were piling on him for being an animation.
They ragged on him,
yeah. I mean, John Favreau digged him multiple times, and then even Pedro was like, animation. Like, Jesus.
My one favorite thing that John said to him was like, we built this model, and Dave was like, yeah, you're going to take it home with you. And he's like, yeah, you can't keep a QuickTime from an animated show on your wall. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, man. I felt bad for Dave because, I mean, at this point, dude, he is very clearly George Lucas Jr. I mean, he is Lucas's heir to the storytelling.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. All right, so moving on to our last 2.5. I mean, obviously Clone Wars we didn't get to go to, but Nick, he found himself the panel, which also had the trailer, and damn, man, it looks very intriguing. I was kind of surprised with how they're going to take it, Nick, because it looks like they are going to pick up right from season 5. So Ahsoka basically quit on her own accord, and it looks like she's going to the lower levels of Coruscant. She's going to meet some new people, maybe get mixed up with them. But I think, Nick, to me, the biggest surprise is it looks like she's coming back.
Exactly.
To the Clone Wars. Like, is she coming back to the Jedi, do you think? Or is Anakin just kind of bringing her back in?
Yeah.
I mean, she's basically given her own clone trooper squadron. They got the orange paint. Like, that's why when we saw that graphic of the clone helmet with the orange on it, it's because that is Ahsoka's unit.
Yeah, exactly. I think.
So what the fuck do you think about that?
It's so weird to me because that's not anything that anybody would have expected. Like, she
No,
left.
I mean, dude, it's not even mentioned in Rebels when she came back. I mean, she comes back and fucking fights Vader.
Yeah, we assumed that she was going to go full fulcrum at this point. Like, she was starting her time.
No Jedi ever again.
Yeah, like, she was starting her time as fulcrum from that point forward, but apparently she comes back, and like you said, it has to be in an official capacity to have the access to that clone trooper squadron.
And Anakin gives her fucking lightsabers remade.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely the most surprising
because
he
gives her both blue, where before I believe she had green.
Blue and green, yeah. She had one blue and one green.
And then we know she ultimately ends up with white,
yep.
so it's like, well, what the fuck happens now that she quits again?
Yeah.
I mean, because she clearly even tells Vader in their fight in Rebels, I'm no Jedi.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, and I don't want to go too deep into it because that's not why we're here, but do you think she's just coming back for Anakin and isn't committing to the Order? Or is she trying Jedi again and eventually she's going to quit? I don't know. It really caught me off guard.
I think she's coming back for Anakin. I think she is. Like, Anakin is probably in contact with her and convinces her to come back. And then, you know, she may be there. I mean, if all things hold true and we get to the end of this and she's still in the Order, that means, one, she was a member of the Jedi Order when Order 66 went off, and two, she survived Order 66 and then becomes fulcrum for Rebels, that's going to be the interesting thing, is how they handle her transition back.
I know.
And then her transition out.
There's a part of me that doesn't quite like her becoming a Jedi again, so I hope that's not what it is. It doesn't make sense for what is already out there. I mean, because in Rebels, clearly, she does not know Vader is Anakin until she slashes his helmet.
Yeah.
Like, she's heard rumors. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't even believe it when they're fighting. But once she slashes his helmet and she can see him, that's the first time she's like, oh, fuck.
I mean, it could be that she comes back, but not in a Jedi capacity.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, does he somehow bring her back under the radar and lets her command this clone squadron? I don't know. Either way, I'm excited. And then I just said it 20 minutes ago that if you, in my opinion, the best prequel era content is the Clone Wars. It completely justifies why Anakin would do what he did. Plus, it creates these awesome characters like Rex, Fives, Ahsoka, Echo, Heavy. I mean, you name it. It's just fantastic from top to bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we have the trailer posted up on the site. There's a little morsel for you guys at the end there, a fight between Ahsoka and Maul.
Oh yeah. That's pretty clutch too. I mean, I'm glad that they brought Maul back in. I mean, he's basically like, I was expecting Kenobi.
Yeah, so that's another. I mean, Sam Witwer.
We're gonna get more Maul. We're gonna get more Maul, and
Sam Witwer as Maul. I'll take it all day. So
right. All about it, and obviously that's coming to Disney Plus too.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Star Wars Resistance Season 2.
And this is one I wish I could go to just for the fact that we got some extra love for our Resistance coverage throughout the season. Plus, obviously, Mr. Christopher Sean is just a fucking pimp when it comes to interacting with fans. But we didn't make it, but apparently those that did, they got a surprise because there was a panel for Star Wars Resistance. And they talked a little bit of Season 2, but guess what? They also got the whole first fucking episode screened to them.
Yeah, that's something completely different than any other panel that was there, to get an entire episode of something. Like, the whole thing.
It doesn't shock me, because when I was there for 2017, the TLJ celebration, also what we learned was going to be the final season of Rebels, we got to watch the first episode of Rebels Season 4, so...
That's pretty nice. So it looks like
I get, yeah, it seems like that's something they'll do for the shorter form shows. But I mean, really, the things to the important things from the Resistance panel, is Season 2 is literally going to pick up right where Season 1 left off, which I think is fantastic.
Yes, for sure.
They're still lost in hyperspace. They're going to be dealing with their artificial gravity generators fucked up. So they're going to have to fix that shit. Sorry, that was Pete. He's being an asshole. So you're gonna have to fix that. We learned that the BB9E, or we're calling it BB9E, made it on board, and he's kind of thwarting their plans to stay anonymous.
He is the resistance. I mean, the First Order spy. Then
I know we've been talking about.
Because we saw him throughout the whole thing, and we never thought for 1 second like this guy's the the First Order.
But they
spy.
did. They also mentioned that Tam's fully embracing her role with the First Order and eating up the opportunities to become a pilot. So I think it's just like we predicted, where she's going to kind of be one of the main antagonists chasing down the Colossus. We learned that Yeager and Doza, they're trying to contact the car, but little they know it's been exploded.
Yep.
So it is going to take place right alongside with TLJ, as Nick and I were wondering. So I think we got some really great stuff out of that panel. I would have loved to have seen it because, as I said, love the show, and I appreciate Christopher Sean and all the stuff he's done and embraced the fandom. But Resistance Season 2, picking up right where it left off. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And then the last one we have here, I think this will be probably personal ones from both of us because, Matt, like you said, you listed a personal one here. So why don't you lay out – we've said it before. We already announced it on the cast before we even went to Celebration. But go ahead and tell them your –
Right. So, I mean, you guys, if you've listened, you've heard about my journey into getting featured at Star Wars Celebration. So, obviously, when I got there and I finally got to see it, it did hit me like, okay, I did something.
You did something, yeah.
Yeah, because going into it, I legitimately, this is not an act. This is not a woe is me fucking tantrum. The way Instagram has treated me over the past year and a half, 2 years, I honestly think I suck. Because I will put out work that Hasbro thinks is good enough to use as a display at a Star Wars Celebration, that on Instagram will get 80 likes.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Okay? I'm a human, people. That, to me, says you suck. So, yes, I do have a complex sometimes with my photography, but I will admit, seeing myself, seeing my shots there, getting the feedback from the other toy photographers that were there congratulating me, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, you were there amongst... There was only 8 artists chosen. I mean, right?
Right, and I consider all 7 of them to be light years beyond what I can do. But the fact that I was mixed up with them, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it was really awesome. I mean, I remember my first day on the show floor. I was like, show me where these things, where the pictures are, and it was on like a big screen TV. The Hasbro Pulse booth was the most packed booth in the whole house. Like that place.
It was the best thing. Yeah. I mean, Thursday, that was the first place I went, obviously. I looked at it. I mean, really, the best part was having other toy photographers come up to me and be like, dude, Haywood Pop. And that just blew my mind because I don't really share my face too much on Instagram. So, I mean, my avatar for Haywood Pop is literally a pop version of myself. But the fact that people recognized me and came up, Pop Senpai Lorenzo, he's one of the guys that I've followed for years. He and I started in the Funko Pop game. He's one of the first guys that found me. It was fantastic to have that interaction with other toy photographers, but also fans of what I do. I also got to run into Trevor, 1/6 shooter. I mean, obviously, we've talked about him before. The motherfucker won the goddamn fan awards overall last year for his amazing A New Hope recreation using toys and the Vader helmet. Dude, it was great. It was great. I mean, I still think I blow because I'm back on Instagram and my shots are going nowhere unless I share during session. But I'll take it. I made it. I got featured at Star Wars Celebration 2019 Chicago at the Hasbro booth. That's something I can kind of just... always.
You need to put that in your description on your Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, featured artist. Yeah. I'm a featured Hasbro artist. No, anyways, go ahead. What's your personal top?
Okay, so my personal top 5, or my personal top 1 was, I had a ton of fun the whole time. I mean, it was my first time, 1, in Chicago, and 2, at a Star Wars Celebration. So the whole thing for me was just a top moment. But it was really cool for me being able to walk through on the last day and kind of like, not really like, because when Matt and I were there, we were there, we were working, we were, getting the feel of everything. On the last day, I was able to just kind of go through with my girlfriend. We were able to go through the celebration shop. I was able to, because like she's not huge into Star Wars, but I got to show her like, this is what Star Wars is. Like, look around you. You know, this many people from around the world have come out to see
for 5 days straight. This is why people literally took a week and a half off to come here.
Yeah, like just to show her the fandom, to show her why I love this franchise as much as I do, and just to show her, you know, it's not just a bunch of weird people who are sitting in a basement obsessed with a movie franchise.
No, we know that. Those are Star Trek.
Yeah, that's why you don't have Star Trek conventions like Celebration. But and then also on the last day,
just kidding, Star Trek people.
We love Star Trek too. Come on, we're true geeks. We're not just Star Wars.
We're just being Star Wars fans. You know, there's always a friendly competition.
Yeah.
There.
And then, you know,
we're still better by 1,000, but it's all right.
There's a tattoo alley in Star Wars Celebration, you know, in the McCormick place. So we were walking down and I was just showing her, I was like, look at all these. There was probably 20 artists there, at least 25 artists there, constantly tattooing people. Our intern, Ryan, he got probably the most legit tattoo of the whole show.
Oh, dude! I mean, come on! We could almost dedicate a segment to that motherfucker's tattoo, and I kind of hate him for it.
Well, we need to contact Ryan and tell him to write up a piece with some good photographs in there and put it on Star Wars.
Dude, he said it smells so bad at this point he might have to chop his arm off. Like, I guess it's borderline putrid.
He hasn't taken his.
Well, you saw, I mean, you know, we all went out Friday night when I got destroyed, but, I mean, his entire arm was nothing but a blood pool.
Yeah. It was...
It's just, I mean, that shit, blood will rot, and it will stink, and when you guys have to keep that wrap on forever long you do, shit's going to get gnarly.
Yeah, so his looked awesome, but I was able to go on the last day. They had artists that had openings, and I was able to get a really sweet Mandalorian tattoo on my arm. It's the Mythosaur skull for those of you guys. It's a symbol of Mandalore. I was able to get that and pretty big on my arm on the last day of Celebration. Add that on top of, you know, seeing everything, being able to walk the floor. It was a fantastic experience, and I would definitely go back again. I could see why people enjoy the show so much, because you get these cool moments like we went through, these top 5 moments that we went through, but you also just, like, I was telling this to my tattoo artist, I was like, look, being at Star Wars Celebration is almost as close to being in the country of Canada as possible, because everybody is so polite. Like, nobody is hating on anybody else. There's no confrontation. Everybody is so friendly, and you're all there for the same reason. Everybody is there because we love this franchise. We love Star Wars, and we share the same passion for it. And even the tattoo artist, her name was Jersey, and she's fantastic artist. Even she said, she was like, oh my God, the people here are the best. Like, they're so nice. You almost have to tell them to stop being nice to you.
Right. That's kind of what I said earlier. It's like, you know, you can actually go and enjoy Star Wars without having to worry about fucking bozos.
Exactly. So,
like, trying to shit on your fun. I mean, in the end, I get it. There's trolls out there just to be trolls. But there's just so much goddamn hate anymore. It's like, leave me alone. It's fucking Star Wars. It's not real.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me the fuck alone. Be angry in your own little black hole.
Yeah, and that little black hole was definitely left out of Celebration.
Right,
so.
You don't get any of that shit. I mean, the most negative thing I got at Celebration, I was talking to somebody, it was weird. I mean, literally, I was wearing my Star Wars time hat, which we got them now, people. We're awesome. And the guy came, he's like, dude, that's awesome. I've been seeing all of your show. Where you get them? I'm like, no, you haven't, because it's my hat for our podcast.
Yeah.
We're not selling them yet. I mean, they're not everywhere, but his girlfriend's like, oh, what'd you think about the Rise of Skywalker? He's like, I love it. She's like, I really don't like the title. It's like,
okay. Well, you know.
All right. That's fine. The point is, that's about as negative as things got at Celebration.
Yeah.
So, all right, man,
fantastic.
Let's go ahead and move on to our most popular segment of the Friday Star Wars Time Show, and that is the Instagram top 5 Star Wars artist features.
In my intention going into this week, and I told Matt this when we were still at Celebration, I was like, I think I'm going to do.
He's a fucking liar. He's
I turned to the dark side on this.
Yeah, he's Nick of Ren.
That's me now. I feel it. Yeah. But I was intending to do top 5 all recreation shots from the trailer. I was like, there's going to be a ton of them. It'll be easy to do it.
And there was. We shared a bunch of them. By we, I mean me and that mouse in my pocket.
But I started going through the feed, and I was like, man, I can't just pick recreation shots. So there is one recreation shot in there, and then the rest of them are just fantastic pieces of art done by fantastic artists like we have every week. So kicking off the top 5, we have what I think is one of the coolest, Rebel-centric shots that we have is from Dark Side of Heaven, good name, and it's a shot of Vader and Sabine in the middle of a battle with Sabine doing almost like a Neo from the Matrix move, bending backwards.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Bullet time, back, no person should ever be able to bend this way and not fall over.
Yeah. And it's
and really, you're right. I mean, this is what caught my eye initially. Is the posing here is fantastic.
Exactly. It's so good. The posing of Sabine, the posing of Vader, even the blur that you see on his cape as he's it looks like this is an in-action shot. Like the lunge is very clear. So I thought this was a fantastic shot.
Right. I can tell you from a toy photographer's perspective. At least to me, posing is one of the most difficult things because you have to take this inanimate piece of plastic and bend its joints. Sometimes joints that don't bend the way you want them to bend, you have to bend them in a way to make it look as if it could be real. That's something I struggle with constantly in my photography. I mean, like I said, I hate myself. I hate my art. That's how I am, whatever. I guess it's good enough to make Hasbro. But the one thing I will admit is I struggle with action posing, and Dark Side of Heaven clearly does not.
Yeah, he killed it. So, fantastic shot. The Instagram handle is @darkside_of_heaven. Beautiful Rebel
very
shot.
Very good. Good follow for sure.
Next up, we have a shot by Root Leaf Stew Squad.
Which, again, one of the greatest... I love handles, right, Nick? I mean, you're a gamer, so you've been around the handle game for a long time. Some of my most favorite aspects of being a geek and being involved in, be it forums or social media or gaming, Xbox Live, PSN, whatever. It's looking at people's handles and thinking about where the fuck did this come from.
It's just
and literally Root Leaf Stew Squad.
Yeah. I mean,
it's awesome. I mean, it's fantastic.
It is, dude. It's wonderful, and you can see the fandom in the name, which is the best part of it. So
Root Leaf Stew. They even got a logo for it. It's 2 lightsabers and green stew.
I know, dude. I love it. So,
but anyways, talk about the shot.
The shot is.
I'm infatuated with the name. Let's talk about the more important stuff, and that's the shot.
The shot. I mean, Matt, this is your area of expertise.
This is where I started. I mean, Nick's exactly right. I got into toy photography because of Funko Pops. It was very basic at first. I got a little more involved, but honestly, looking at Root Leaf here, I mean, this to me is one of the most well done, dare I say, even realistic looking Funko Pop shots I've ever seen.
Yeah, so we have, Vader in the foreground standing in a very...
In my opinion, the best Funko Pop ever made. I have this Vader too. It's fucking money.
It looks fantastic. I mean, the pop itself, it looks fantastic.
It's
and then the
just
way...
great.
Yeah, posing is limited with pops,
There is no posing.
Yeah, so
there is none. They're literally a springed head on a fixed body.
Yeah,
so the most you can do is turn the head if you move the spring. That's it.
Yeah, so the fact that Root Leaf was able to position these figures the way it did, so you have a Vader beautiful Funko in the foreground. In the background, you have an Imperial Guard. And then it's set within this red-hued room, definitely within the Death Star. Yeah. You can see the signature
smoke going on.
Yeah, the signature Death Star Imperial style architectures going on. And the smoke, I mean, like, smoke in toy photography apparently is really, can make it money.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's everything. I mean, I'm going to finally break down and probably buy some atmosphere aerosol, because it seems these days, if you use atmosphere aerosol and post it in your post, you're going to get more traction than someone like me trying to save money using a fucking $30 hand steamer that you just have to fill up with water every time you want to use it.
Yeah, so
so just for the branding alone, I'm going to waste my money on some atmosphere aerosol. I don't know if it's waste, because clearly they can make your shots look awesome, and you don't need to light stuff on fire if you're outside, and you don't need to wait for a steamer to warm up. I just have a hard time spending that money on stuff that gets my shit all gooey and isn't cheap. But like I said, it's been proven. If you whip atmosphere aerosol on Instagram and toy photography, you're going to get way more followers than someone that does.
Yeah, they'll show you some love. So
that's a tip. That's a motherfucking pro tip, people, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I don't do it yet, but I'm going to start doing it because it's been proven at this point. Atmosphere aerosol, hashtag them, tag them. You're going to fucking go places in toy photography. I don't get it. It is what it is. But rock and roll if you got it.
Yeah, Root Leaf. Again, this is a beautiful Funko shot. We don't feature a lot of pop shots, but this one just stood out so well because of the way that this shot is posed. And then
I don't know, man. I still appreciate the Funko aesthetic, and I'll appreciate a great Funko shot. But it's funny how far my fandom for Funko has fallen in the past year and a half.
It fell so much that you had VIP to the Funko line. You didn't even use it.
Yeah, that says everything. Like, anyone that was there, if you're a Funko fan, you're probably cursing me out right now, but I legitimately had VIP passes to get the Funko exclusives, and I didn't even want to bother waiting in the VIP line.
Like, my tattoo artist, before we sat down and started doing it, she's like, "Hey, look, please give me 30 minutes. I have somebody holding my place in line at the Funko, booth.
Right.
I'll be right back. I'll text you when I'm coming back." So I just made the rounds around the convention floor, and Yeah,
so Funko fandom is clearly still in effect. It just, I don't know, it lost its magic on me. I mean, even at this point, to the Star Wars line, I had given up collecting every pop culture pop about 2 years ago, but I maintained my Star Wars collection. And even now, just like Nick said, I passed up 2 Celebration exclusives, and they were pretty good. I mean, it was an awesome Darth Maul and a Watto. It would have made for some good shots with the little Anakin pop that's out there. But I was just like, hey, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't even want to wait in a fucking 20-minute line. I don't give a fuck.
That's how it is.
Rest in peace, pop fandom. I guess it is dying quicker than I thought.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck with a Beanie Baby problem where I have a fucking basement full of Funko Pops with nowhere to stash them.
You gotta start hawking them.
Anyone, literally. I have about 700. If you want them all, I'll sell them to you for like $5,000. There's some in there worth $1,000 a piece if you believe eBay. So here we go.
All right.
Hit me up at Haywood Pop.
Next up, we have.
Yes, this is a money pimp shot.
This
is a recreation, like Nick said he was gonna do. So he at least threw one in there.
I did. I threw one recreation in there, and this is from a return top fiver. This is a Sith load of Lego. And if you're listening to this podcast first off and you haven't seen the Rise of Skywalker trailer, then please stop listening, never listen again, and just consider your fandom. Anyway, this is a recreation shot from Rise of Skywalker trailer. The shot is of the skiff chase going on the desert planet, and we see a Poe Lego, we see a Finn Lego, we see a C-3PO Lego, and we see in the background a jetpack. It's probably original trilogy Stormtrooper. It's hard to tell. It could
but
be
I mean, we did see something on jetpacks in the trailer.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Like, I made sure in our breakdown post to put the picture of the thing. But it's
fucking great. This is fucking great.
I know
And just like you said, Nick, you're becoming infatuated with Lego photography. It's hard not to.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Like, the Lego stuff, to me, always stands out. It's just... I think it goes back to my love of super deformed looking stuff, you know, the chibi aesthetic, the bigger heads, the animated look. There's just something about Legos, and in particular Star Wars Legos in a toy photography setting that gets me every time. I mean, every time when I do my shares in the morning on Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, it's hard not to just do all Lego Star Wars for me.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, this is such a beautiful shot because the first time I shared a Lego shot, I was like, man, I didn't know that you could make Legos look as action-oriented and as
There you
amazing.
go. You nailed it. You're exactly right. I mean, somehow, in this shot in particular, a Sith load of Lego has made these things feel alive, and they honestly have, 1, 2, 3 more points of articulation than a Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Basically, their right arm, their left arm, and then their 2 legs together.
Yeah. So.
And they can turn their head, so I guess they have 4.
Yeah. So he was able to take those 4 points of articulation and almost perfectly recreate a scene from The Rise of Skywalker. And
I'm assuming. Do you think he draws the mouse on, Nick? Do you think those are VFX, or do you think that's what the mouths of the figures look like? Because I mean, look what he's got Finn's mouth.
I know, right?
Like literally gritting. It's like, and even Poe looks like he's under stress, which he should be. I mean, he's getting shot at on a skiff.
Yeah. I mean, like one of our plans for the the future cast, the future Tuesday cast, until we have Resistance and Mandalorian rolling, is to try to do interviews with some of these toy photographers.
Oh, yeah. It's coming, people. If you're listening
and you want
to get mixed up in it, let us know. I've already talked to 1/6 shooter and Work more or less, Trevor and Jason respectively. So I mean,
as a return top 5, I would love to ask this question to a Sith load of Lego, themselves, and see like, hey, how do you do this? I mean, this stuff looks fantastic. Like you said,
right.
Are their faces really like that? I haven't seen these Lego figures, so I don't know. Or do you go in and post process and have digital faces put on? I mean, his stuff looks fantastic, which is why he has been in the top 5 2 times now. I mean, just absolutely beautiful shots. So many different types of shots as well. If you just go to his Instagram page and just scroll through his feed, everything that he does pops so well. I mean, fantastic photographer, fantastic artist all around. If you're listening to this, Lego, reach out to us at Star Wars Time on Instagram. Let us know if you'd like to do an interview.
Let us know about those faces. Are they custom, or is that how they are?
Yeah.
We'd appreciate it. Either way, we love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Good stuff. So next up in the top 5 is one of Matt's.
This is my boy right here. This guy, to me, I don't know. Have we featured Nose Rain yet,
I don't
Richie?
think so. I think this is our first time featuring.
Yeah, I finally got you to pick one.
It's a mashup. I mean, you put a lot of his shots in there, and I don't know how I haven't yet, because he is a fellow featured artist at the Hasbro booth.
Dude, he's ridiculous. This guy's account, I'd say in the past 2 years, has gone from less to 1,000 to 42,000.
Yeah, 42,000. I mean,
2 years, he's literally gone from starting in toy photography and sharing it. I mean, obviously, this guy is a very skilled photographer. He, to me, is one of the most creative, imaginative toy photographers out there. That's why we get this shot we're about to talk about. But the guy's account literally has skyrocketed, unlike any I've seen. I mean, I've seen Plastic Action. I mean, he always had a pretty decent follower base, but once he started his Plastic Baller series getting featured on ESPN, I mean, he went up double digits, thousands. But Richie at Nose Rain here, I'm not kidding, dude. Within 2 years, he went from starting an account less than 1,000, I believe, to 41 or 2,000 followers.
Just for a point of reference here, 41,000 followers. Some people may be like, that's impressive. He only had 615 total posts.
Thank you.
That is fucking crazy.
Thank you.
Like, scroll through his feed. I'm going to give him a nickname. I don't know if anybody said this before, but I'm going to call him the Master of the Mashup. Because if you look at his feed, you have these fantastic mashups of different fandoms, different universes, and he does them so well that it just feels organic. It feels like it fits together.
It's ridiculous. We haven't even fucking began to describe the shot we're sitting here jerking off over.
So the shot itself, is this the Mythos Obi-Wan, or is this...
Oh, yes. Okay. This, to me, is one... It's not one of... It is the best 1/6 scale Obi-Wan Kenobi figure out there right now.
Yeah, so this is... I mean, you guys have seen this before because we've featured other photographs using this Mythos Obi-Wan figure, but it's a mashup of the two probably biggest fandoms in the world right now. You have Game of Thrones.
It is so great.
It's fantastic. It's Game of Thrones. It's Star Wars. You have Obi-Wan Kenobi standing behind. This is the Night King, right? Or is it? This is the Night King's general, I think.
It looks. I'm gonna go with it's probably more of a White Walker because I do not see the Darth Maul spikes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the Night King, but it's definitely like one of the featured White Walker.
It's a
extras.
White Walker. It's a White Walker.
So Obi-Wan standing behind him, shoving a lightsaber through his chest. The way that the White Walker is posed is fantastic because it looks like a true reaction to getting stabbed with a lightsaber through the chest.
To me, it's Obi-Wan's expression is almost like he's whispering in his ear, like, just rest now. This is your sweet death or something.
Exactly. Like the way that the
full
head
on
is
Obi-Wan.
posed.
Almost. Those of you, if you're Rebels fans and you watch the moment where Obi-Wan finally takes out Maul, that's how it feels to me, where he's basically comforting the White Walker in his moment of death.
Exactly. Like
as Obi-Wan would do.
Yeah.
Right?
Obi-Wan's not a malicious figure. You know, he will kill you, but he will kill you with respect. And
the one thing that's I almost want to ask Richie, I'm not seeing the moisture evaporator apparatus popping off Obi-Wan's back.
Oh, yeah.
And that is part of the backpack. So I'm wondering if he wiped that for some reason because it was taking focus away from the main subject or what. But,
yeah.
That's definitely not a piece you just removed, so I'm guessing he wiped it in post. Either way, it doesn't fucking matter. This is... I mean, it looks like it was shot in the north in Westeros, and our boy Obi just happened to be walking through, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna take out some evil.
Yeah, this is so good. It's so good, man. I love it.
But this went down on. I guess this is and I've seen shares of this before. I didn't know it's getting bigger, but apparently there's this big toy photography meetup in Utah that goes down every year.
Okay.
And they all did this last weekend while we were at Celebration. So, I mean, I still would have rather been at Celebration, but I'm not going to lie. This is something I may have to try to invite myself to next year.
Yeah, man.
Because there's a lot of the artists we've talked about. A lot of them I look up to, like My Nerdy Obsessions. I have Utao, or however the fuck you say his name. Nose Rain, Plastic Action was there. Greater Beast was there. I mean, some fantastic people that I look up to. So, like I said, I'd love to be involved in this type of shit. But I had a lot more fun being in the Episode 9 panel. So I'm all right missing it this year. But in the end, hey, Nose Rain, Richie, you guys at the Utah Toy Safari, whatever the fuck you call it, aces all around from everybody. We would love to share them all, but hey, Nose Rain won this one.
Yeah. So, rounding out the top 5.
This is like Titty Ray is all I can think about.
I know. It's like
big tits Ray. This is clearly a custom, and this is why South P24 rules.
Yeah, South P24 here bringing out a Ray shot of her straight up decapitating a First Order stormtrooper.
With literally her tit hanging out.
Like the side. I didn't even realize it like at first when I first picked this, and then I looked at it again. I was like, "Holy shit!" There's a lot of side boob here on Ray because there's.
Well, it's. I mean, again, this is not a standard Ray figure. I mean, I believe it's a Hasbro Ray head.
Yeah.
But he's got it on I've seen this body going around. I don't know if it's new, but I've seen people slapping ScarJo's head on it for Black Widow. But it's a very voluptuous-looking female 112 body sculpt. And, yeah, I mean, this would be Rey if Daisy Ridley went and got herself some C-size breast implants.
Yeah, so it's just...
That's not the point, though. The point is, this is a fucking dope-ass action shot of Rey.
It is. It's super cool to see.
With tits.
Yeah. It's super cool, because, I mean, like, we've had a lot of action shots done before, but we've never really had one as I guess you would say, as graphic as this. I mean,
it's awesome. I mean, and by the way, I believe this is our first ever repeat feature during the top 5. I mean, I've obviously repeated features on at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, but I believe this is the first time Nick has repeated an account. So that just goes to show you that South P24 has got his shit going on.
Yeah. So again, this was a fantastic, very fun shot. You even got some lens flare going on in the bottom right of the.
Oh, I mean,
image.
just even look at the lightsaber effects. Like you got a flare on that, but you also kind of almost have the Kylo blaze effect going on from the blade. Like it's almost bleeding out blue energy.
Yeah.
You got a blue lens flare at the bottom, like Nick said. You got it popping off the hilt. It's just great. And by the way, you're probably going to see some more South P shit coming up because he's got this Sith Rey custom going on. Just wait. I've got them saved. I'm not ready to share them yet, but just wait. Just wait. South P is definitely an account you want to look into if you like radical, action-oriented Star Wars photography, but also custom Star Wars figures.
Yeah, so that rounds out the top 5 for the week. No special mentions, and it was fantastic top 5. Like I said, there were so many good shots that I couldn't limit myself just to recreation shots. I added one in there. I threw one in there because it was so good. A Sith Little Lego making his second appearance, as well as South P24 with their 2 shots. Love their stuff. Love everybody's stuff in the top 5. If you are interested in doing interviews on the cast with us, let us know. Reach out to us on the Star Wars Time Show Instagram, because we're definitely interested in talking to you guys. I mean, this is why
DMs are open. Slide in. Let us know. We're here for you. And again, if you don't make the podcast, it doesn't mean you're a loser. It just means Nick thinks you suck.
That's exactly what it means.
But again, I'm kidding. You'll eventually, if you come around and keep listening, you'll understand I'm a very sarcastic motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it just very, very rarely do I speak anything that is serious.
It's true. But one thing that's super serious right now is episode 9 news. Because now
TROS,
TROS, the Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, it is, as Nick and I predicted. Once that first teaser dropped, the floodgates would open. Fanboys like ourselves would be speculating. I myself have put out 2 videos this week revolving around episode 9 stuff. So as we, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Don't cry. We're still here. We're here for at least probably the way Nick and I do it. I'd say close to another fucking hour. We're here.
Yeah.
But we're moving on to the actual nitty-gritty of Star Wars fandom outside of our own fandom and creating our own fan works. We're moving into the stuff that gets us up in the morning, and that is the Rise of Skywalker news and speculation. So, Nick, first up we got here, obviously at Star Wars Celebration, a lot of people, the powers that be at Lucasfilm, Disney, they were ready to start peeling a few layers back on episode 9. Not a ton, but a few. And in one interview in particular, we got some pretty solid insights from Kathleen Kennedy, right? No, from Bob Iger.
Yeah,
who is basically Disney God at this point, on the future rollout of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, so this was during the entirety of Star Wars Celebration. Like, this was kind of the first day, right after, or actually it was right before the episode 9 panel. Iger sat down with an interview with Bloomberg, and he let everybody know, yes, Rise of Skywalker, huge. This is huge for us, but we are going to have a bit of a hiatus for Star Wars live-action releases in theaters post Rise of Skywalker.
And I think the writing was on the wall, right, Nick? I mean, with the Solo failed experiment, which even Kathleen came out and admitted, like, we fucked up. Like, they fucked up the cadence of releasing Star Wars. They realized we should not release 2 Star Wars within a calendar year. I'm not just talking in the same year. I'm talking within a 12-month span, they said. Like, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I I kind of disagree. I still think if they released Solo in December of this year instead of May, it would have been a completely different story, even though, it still would have been a calendar year. I just think trying to drop Solo, 4 months after, 5 months after
5 months,
a very contentious Skywalker movie, it was stupid. All in the name of Mary fucking Poppins, which is even more mind-boggling. Yeah. But either way here, the news is we are getting a break. And I know some of you are probably like, yeah, fuck Star Wars. We need a break. Disney's oversaturated. Someone like me, I'm going, we're getting a break because people hated TLJ and Solo failed.
Yeah, that's why the break is here.
I'm telling you right now, there was a movie planned for 2021 or 2020.
Oh, yeah, dude, because Iger said we have movies through 2020. So they were planning a release for 2020. Go back and look at these interviews. You can go on StarWarsTime.net, go through the archives. I mean, the archives are very short at this point.
You're right. It was going Skywalker movie standalone.
Yeah.
Skywalker movie standalone. Skywalker movie standalone.
So 2020 was for sure on the docket for a release. Now, 2020 will not have a live action release. And more than likely, they didn't say how long the hiatus was going to be. I'm more, leaning towards a 2022 release.
Oh. No.
That would be a stab in the heart. I know, Matt, you're more of a fan of the 2021. Maybe just take a full year off.
Just think about 3 years, motherfuckers. We're back to 2005 where we didn't know if anything was ever going to happen again.
You're right. I mean, that would be a dark time.
Think about that. You people getting all, it's getting oversaturated, Disney. What are you going to do when you have a fucking 3-year wait?
Yeah, 3 fucking years.
How'd you guys feel about waiting not even 2 years for Game of Thrones to end, you fucks?
Also, 3 years to wait with no idea what's coming next. I mean...
Well, we
can
say that. We know it's coming next. It's either going to be Ryan's or the Gott Bros.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, content-wise, we know who's doing it, but we don't know what the content of it is. We could say, hey, we know we have...
I think we're much closer to knowing the content of at least one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk about it. I mean, Kennedy
almost spilled the
confirmed
beans.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, she said it's being looked at in development, so it's happening.
Yeah. So,
but no, this is a bummer to me. I mean, this whole we need a hiatus. You don't need a fucking hiatus. You need a hiatus because you were stupid and greedy.
Yeah,
that's it. That's why you need a hiatus.
If you space those releases out the correct way, I don't think you run into fatigue. I think that 1 year between Star Wars movies is sufficient. Look at Marvel. Marvel is...
Okay, thank you. I'm glad. Thank you. Someone still has a fucking brain here in the Geekverse. The fact that people try, Star Wars fatigue. Hey, dumb fucks. We've only had Star Wars movies since 2015. We've had upwards of three MCU films releasing a year since 2008.
And look,
and guess what? The number 22 is probably going to make $300 fucking million opening weekend. So get the fuck out of here with this fatigue bullshit.
No, yeah. If you make good, intriguing, entertaining content for Star Wars on a yearly basis, on a once yearly basis, you will curtail fatigue. And we showed that for the first 4 years of this life cycle. You have you had TFA, you had Rogue One, you had TLJ. I mean, that 3-movie run was unstoppable. It made each of those films made over $1 billion. Rogue One was the first project that they went out on a limb on that featured no characters that you've ever heard of, and it made $1 billion. And it was one of the most loved. If you ask people, there are some people who legitimately like Rogue One more than any of the new movies that have released yet, and I can see the argument. That is a fantastic movie. So I think that yes, the trolls and what happened with TLJ was definitely a damper on the spirits of some people, but then also the very clear misplay on the Solo side had an effect as well.
Yeah, I can't at this point. I can't even put that. I don't even want to give the trolls credit for Solo. I mean, that to me was just it was arrogant. It was stupid, especially when you consider all the drama going with the production. I mean, why the fuck do you rush that shit out? I mean, yeah, you didn't get the first trailer till 2 months before it came out.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic movie. And if there are people who are listening to this who still haven't seen it,
go fuck your. No, I don't want. No, we're not even gonna give him the benefit. Just go fuck yourself,
and then go watch the movie because it's really good.
Nick, right? He's the Jedi in this equation.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I know people that are in your shoes. If you're listening, you haven't watched it yet. I know people who are like, no, it just doesn't seem like it's for me. I don't want to see it in theaters. It looks like it's just a money grab. Okay,
well, go away and don't pretend you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a fantastic movie. I have. People...
I get it. If you're not a Star Wars junkie, then yeah, you probably could care less about Star Wars movies every year. But if you are a Star Wars junkie and you're trying to tell me that I can't even speak when I think about these idiots that were like taking pride in making Solo fail.
It's just
fuck off.
Yeah, it's this.
You guys suck.
It's just
you're not fans. You're pieces of shit.
Really, really stupid. So go watch it. Anyway, the good news is,
hey Pete, get the fuck out of my face. Sorry, the cat's really being obtrusive to me.
The good thing about this hiatus is it's not like the great ending of,
well, I mean, let's pick up with the second part of the story here. I mean, and then Kathleen Kennedy comes out and says, yo, by the way, yes, we're taking a little bit of a break, but we are planning a decade's worth of content.
Exactly. A decade's worth.
So once they figure their dumb shit out, their men in suits problem, these things are going to start rolling out again.
Yeah, exactly.
I just hate when these people position it as, oh yeah, we've realized a little fatigue. No, there is no fatigue. It was stupidity on your part. There is no fatigue.
Yeah, it was poor release.
As Nick brought up, there's no such thing as a fatigue in a Star Wars pop culture juggernaut when you have what the MCU is doing over an 11-year span at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking upwards of 3 fucking movies a year.
And
making a ton of money.
And look, the way that Disney was doing it was the right way too. You weren't featuring the same characters in every movie every year. You were spacing it out with the Star Wars stories, which was giving people a break. If they were like, oh, well, we're getting tired of Rey, Poe, Finn every year, that's fine. You have the breakups with the Star Wars stories. But they got overambitious. That's what it was. Like, the money was too... The dollar signs in their eyes were massive. I mean, you can look at Marvel releases and you can see that not every one of them made $1 billion immediately.
No, but they made their money. They made more than fucking Solo.
Oh yeah, they made their money, but they started seeing the Star Wars money roll in. They started seeing $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion, another $1 billion with
I still, dude, I cannot wrap my head around that. And especially when he revealed they did it because of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that was just absolutely absurd.
What? What?
Mary Poppins, and that movie just failed on its own. Like, Disney gave that every shot possible.
I saw it. It's not that good.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I love Emily Blunt, though.
The good thing is we will have these live-action TV shows that are going on Disney Plus.
Edge of Tomorrow 2.
Edge of Tomorrow was fantastic.
That's what I mean. Edge of Tomorrow 2. Let's bring it on. Quiet Place 2. I mean, fuck Mary Poppins.
But, so...
All right, man. So moving on to the next kind of reveals we got from the show. And really, a lot of this stuff was coming out during Celebration because they were either doing live interviews at the show floor or planned interviews were releasing in time with all the big news releasing. So the other thing we got was, JJ obviously was in demand talking to lots of people. And I forget who he was interviewed here.
IGN,
but either way, IGN, fuck them. Either way, JJ revealed that he met with the maker himself before he wrote the script for The Rise of Skywalker. So
yeah,
that's probably why we're getting some of the OT stuff folded back in here.
Yeah, I mean... Think about it. The way that JJ put it was fantastic. he's not writing a movie to wrap up a trilogy. He's writing a movie to wrap up a saga of 9 movies. And it has to...
And to make the singular movie entertaining.
Exactly. That was something that he mentioned in the panel. He's like, I have the job...
Go ahead and read the full quote.
Yeah, he said...
Because, I mean, it's a little lengthy, but it kind of explains what he's saying.
So, quote goes as such. This movie had a very, very specific challenge, which was to take 8 films and give an ending to 3 trilogies. Think about that.
You think?
Yeah, think about that.
You think that's specific?
That's crazy. All right, we had to look at what was the bigger story. We had conversations amongst ourselves. We met with George Lucas before we started writing the script. Like Matt said, very big. These were things that were in real, not debate, but you look at the sort of vastness of the story and try to figure out what is the way to conclude this. But it has to work on its own as a movie.
Yes.
That was something he mentioned in the panel. This movie has to work. You should be able to watch episode 9 as a movie and say, like, wow, just by itself.
Or as just with no knowledge of episodes 1 through 8.
Exactly. It has to be its own thing. It has to be surprising and funny, and you have to understand it. You can't assume anyone has sat and watched 8 movies before this one.
Hey, it's like I read this before.
It is. It's almost like you wrote this.
Yeah.
And yet, I want a kid to be able to watch episodes 1 through 9 and see that one story. So that is a unique challenge that nobody has ever had to do before. Maybe outside of the Russo brothers with this, Endgame. Because Endgame is essentially taking disparate pieces, not fully interconnected pieces like you have with Star Wars, but disparate pieces and kind of coalescing them into one ending.
I could see that. I do believe, at least over there in the MCU, Feige was kind of the caretaker of the overall narrative, unlike we've learned here, where they're just like, hey, fuck it.
Yeah, the overall...
You artists, you guys just make up whatever the fuck you want, and somehow we'll jam it all together and make it make sense.
Yeah. So
I think JJ has an even more difficult task than those two, trying to wrap up 21 films. Yes, that sounds like a bigger task, but I do believe they at least had notes and a structure of where this should go.
Yeah.
Where it sounds like over here with 7, 8, 9 is like, okay, hey, JJ, you make up whatever the fuck you want. All right, hey, Ryan, you come in, you just do whatever the fuck you want in the middle. And then, all right, JJ, you come in and, again, just do whatever the fuck you want.
Pick up where Trevorrow left.
But in the end, try to make it somehow seem like it's a cohesive trilogy.
Yeah, and for that type of task, you need the maker. You need Lucas. Because only Lucas... Even though he wasn't at all involved with the creative process for these 3 movies, only Lucas can tell you how this could possibly end. Like, I'm not saying Lucas wrote the story, and I'm not saying that he did
not
everything,
at all.
But like, he's the best source of knowledge.
Right. He's had an idea of 1 through 9 in his head.
Yeah.
Disney strayed from some of it. Probably more so in 8 than anything else, but he had his own vision, so yes, he probably gave some ideas, and that's more than likely why Palpy in some form or fashion is returning.
Exactly. When you look at, like JJ said, the entirety of the previous 8 films, your main villain is Palpatine from episode 1. From episode 1, Palpatine is your big bad. Like, you can look...
The long game master.
Yeah, and you can look at, episodes 4 and 5 and say, like, well, Palp's barely in them. I mean, like, he's not in 4 and he's barely in 5. But Palpatine was pulling the strings from day 1. And, thinking of it that way and putting it in the perspective that JJ did... It's not surprising that Palpatine's back here. It's not surprising that we see the husk of Death Star 2 at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, because he is the ultimate villain that needs to be vanquished here. And, one of the things that keeps popping up in these, all of the rumors and the speculations and stuff like that is like, how is he going to be involved? But it doesn't matter how he's involved. The fact that he is involved is what makes this a true wrapping up of the Skywalker trilogy. So that was really good. JJ also kind of gave a little bit of context.
Let's just real quick. How do you think he's going to be involved? Do you think he's going to be like physical form or some sort of corporeal or ghost?
I think it's going to be Force Ghost, if anything, because two reasons.
Okay, go ahead.
Two reasons. One, and I think I mentioned this. I may have mentioned this in the TROS coverage that we did.
TROS.
That we
Squirrel.
the podcast that we did after it, but like dark side Force ghosts are a thing. Like they have been expressed, they have been talked about in canon now and in old canon. So they're a thing, and they are as influential as Jedi Force ghosts. The thing is that dark side Force ghosts, at least to what I can remember from what I read, they are tied to their death place. So,
well, we also have to remember this motherfucker knows Plagueis' secret.
Exactly. That was the other thing.
So, could it be, I guess that's where I go with, could it be a I don't know, like a Sith version of a Force ghost? Like, yeah. I don't.
That's what I'm.
Like you said, it is established, but I don't think it's established canon anymore.
Yeah. It's
they like you said, they kind of they were relegated to where they died or where their dark side power was emanating from.
Yeah.
Which may make sense considering that we think they may find him at the destroyed Death Star, but I don't know. I mean, again, this guy clearly knew some shit. I mean, if we're going to buy into the comic where, yes, he created Anakin, the guy learned how to stop things from dying.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's different than a Force Ghost, because Force Ghosts, they're not dying per se, but their physical form is going away, and their spirit, if you will, becomes one with the Force.
Yeah. So
what do you think stronger? I mean, is it going to be the dark side way or the way we've seen it in the light side? I don't know. That's why that laugh at the end of the Rise of Skywalker trailer was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're not out of it yet. I mean,
where the fuck are we going? And I know Ian came out to do it, but one character we literally have not seen in any leak yet, Nick, is who? Matt Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Everyone's kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
Is he even in the movie anymore? I mean, there's rumors at one point he was shot in a robe.
Yeah, that he could have been like people were assuming that he was a younger Snoke because he has the face shape of Snoke.
Now could he be a different version of Palpatine or younger Palpatine? You know, maybe Palpatine's like, hey, if I'm dead, I might as well come back in a younger version of myself.
Yeah.
You know, young Sheev, beautiful Sheev, top 10 Sheev. You never know. But, dude, I'm so excited for these upcoming months, and obviously once we get there for the movie itself.
Yeah.
But some good stuff coming here from JJ.
Yeah, overall, just a fantastic insight into the overall story and building.
Right, but he also kind of opened up on the title a bit, and I'll go ahead and read this quote. But he weighed in on the film's title, which we know is TROS, The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, of course, he didn't give any real insights into it, but here's what he said. So, well, the title feels like it's the right title for this movie. I know it's provocative and asks a bunch of questions. Yes, it does. Thank you. But when you see the movie, you'll see how it was intended and what it means. But in the flow of titles, this title had a very big responsibility. It had to be the end of not only 3 movies, but 9 movies. So just like Nick was saying earlier, the idea of incorporating the movie that comes before, strangely, is the story of the movie. It's the characters in the film inheriting everything that's come before in previous generations, whether it's the sins of the father or the wisdom that they've acquired. And the question is this new generation up to the task? Can they stand up to what they have to? So in a way, we came to this movie having inherited a lot, and the question, can we do it, is a question we ask ourselves every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's very... I don't want to say...
It was a no answer with
it was subversive.
a very interesting way of saying shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't give you anything. He basically said, this is the title that we chose for the movie. We think it fits with all 9.
Yeah, he's like, when you see it, you'll get it, and it's like, okay, no shit, thank you.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it, then you didn't do your job. So.
And the thing is,
all right.
like you said, Matt, and like he said, it asks a lot of questions, and you listed some of the questions at the end of this fucking article. Like you said, is Luke coming back from the dead? Is it Ben Solo? Is he coming back to his Skywalker lineage? Is it Rey? Is Rey somehow involved in the Skywalker lineage?
Oh, dude, trust me. We're going to probably do a special topic on this because I just put out a video today. So when you're listening, it's going to be Tuesday. So it's going to be out on StarWarsTime.net or our YouTube channel. But I put out my video on 4 theories on the title, The Rise of Skywalker, and what it could mean. And yes, is Rey a Skywalker? Is Ben gonna come back to the light and embrace his good Skywalker side? Is it an identifier like the Knights of Ren or Kylo Ren? Ren implying that they follow the dark side, Skywalker implying it's the new religion, if you will, the new way to describe the new type of, I don't even want to say Jedi. They're not Jedi anymore. Rey is not a Jedi in my mind. She is a new type. She is a Skywalker, but not potentially blood Skywalker. She's just the new Jedi, which is going to be called Skywalkers.
Could be.
That's the one I'm kind of hoping that it turns out to be. Who knows how that's going to end. But like I said, we've got a whole cast to do that. We're going to move on to our last topic of the night. More interesting nuggets of information coming from the powers that be. And this is, again, JJ and Kathleen. So I did a video on this one. You can check it out on StarWarsTime.net or on our YouTube channel. It's Rey's parents and the future of Star Wars. So, Nick, some of the highlights here. I mean, JJ, he talked to ABC and dropped his deal on Rey's parents. And I wish I had the quote here. I thought it was in the post. It is not, but I'll summarize it. He pretty much says, listen, we understand the issue of Rey's parents was a bit of a concern to fans coming out of TLJ. We also are going to honor what happened in TLJ. But JJ reminded us there's much more to the story. So the first thing I want to put out here, Nick, is I was never one that came out of TLJ going, all right, what Kylo told Rey, that's fact, it's set in stone. I looked at it as it was a bad guy saying whatever he thought he could say to try and get someone to his side.
Exactly, yeah.
So I never came out going, oh, fuck. Like some people that hate Ryan. Oh, fuck you, Ryan. You just fucking, you fucking kill Snoke. You make him irrelevant. You make hyperspace irrelevant. You make ship travel irrelevant. And now you did this. It's like, no, I mean, it's Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi. One of the most righteous Jedi in the galaxy lied his ass off to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, from a certain point of view. Do we not remember that?
Exactly. I'm not even talking about a bad guy lying to a good guy. We had good guy mentor lying to his mentee from a certain point of view bullshit.
Yeah.
So I never took what Kylo said as gospel. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when JJ came out and said this, they're like, oh, look, yeah, fuck you, Ryan. JJ's retcon and all your dumb shit. And I'm just like, what?
Like, here's the thing, too, that people don't remember is that, like, he had no idea who Rey was as in TFA. He's like, who is this scrapper, this nobody from nowhere who all of a sudden has this Jedi power? And do you think, what do you think he did? Like, Force reached into her genealogy and figured out who her parents were? Like, there's no possible way outside of him knowing who she was in the first place for him to know with pure certainty who her parents are. Like, it's just
It was in a moment of desperation. I mean, he was literally like, listen, I want you to team up with me because we can fuck shit up.
Yeah, he was basically...
So I'm going to tell you whatever I think I can that's going to make you weaker and maybe cave.
Yeah, he was like, look, you're worried about your parents? There's nothing left for you over there. They were nobody. You don't know them. Nobody knows them.
Right. You know me. I can fix you. I will be your family. Come with me. That's what he was doing. So... I never got that backlash, but, I mean, JJ pretty much, like I said, he came out and said, listen, we're going to honor what was said in TLJ, but there's more to the story. And I don't look at that as JJ giving a middle finger to Ryan.
No, I think it's...
I don't, and a lot of people are taking it that way. I do not get that. First and foremost, JJ, he's an artist. He seems to be a very nice guy, a guy that doesn't want controversy. So there's no way he's just going to be like, you know what, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
We're going to delete everything he did. There's no way. They may change some things creatively, but in the end, like I've said from day one with TLJ, it is a middle fucking act. It was never meant to, etch into stone anything.
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's just like Empire. I mean, Empire is a middle act movie. Nothing really happens. The good guys get their ass kicked. It's all bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad. It's all bad. Go read reviews and fan reactions from Empire back in 80 and tell me if they're that much different than TLJ. Middle movies are difficult.
Yeah, because you are reliant.
They're difficult.
Yeah, you're reliant on
You're not really resolving anything. You're not. You are not resolving anything. You might resolve minimal plot threads for your movie, but you're not resolving the overarching narrative.
Yeah.
And that's where we're coming with JJ. So, yes, he has that power. He has that ability to come in and maybe touch some stuff up and maybe fan service it up based on some reactions. But by no means do I think he's sitting there laughing sinisterly going, ha, 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 ha. Fuck you, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Fuck you for changing shit I set up in TFA. I think he's looking as like, hey, whatever, I'm going to build upon another artist's work. And he left it open enough that we can do whatever the fuck we want, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, there's no way that JJ is just going into this trying to screw Ryan over. So let's just get rid of that.
Right. So other important stuff here. So moving on from what JJ said, Kathleen was talking to MTV News, and to me this was huge.
Yeah.
She pretty much said that the characters being developed in this new trilogy, 7, 8, 9, we're probably going to see them again.
Yeah,
is what she said.
Could appear in future films or TV projects. So this is something that Matt and I have talked about a lot. We're attached to these characters. I mean, Rey is a fantastic protagonist, and she is
but Nick, she's a Mary Sue,
and she's OP too. And that's what I love about her is that she's gonna cut that TIE silencer's wing off when she does a flip over
it.
Like, she's going to cut that motherfucker off, and it's going to be badass.
Here's the sad thing. If she was a man, not one person would say she was OP.
Yeah. So, let's just let go of that.
We have the Force Unleashed where Starkiller pulls a goddamn Star Destroyer from the sky.
Yeah.
And Rey's being accused of being OP because she beat Kylo in a duel?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And also, keep in mind that Kylo literally took a shot from probably the most powerful blaster in the galaxy.
I mean, the dude took a gut shot from Chewie's bowcaster.
Yeah, that is a massive
and he just
wound.
And Snoke cleared it all up if you were listening. He said you were so mentally fucked from killing your dad.
Yeah, that you couldn't.
That you let a noob kick your ass.
Yeah.
That's why Kylo lost, not because Rey's OP, because he is a disaster of a human.
Yeah, he is. He is a goddamn mental mess.
He's an emotional mess, man.
Yeah.
He is a fucking disaster. I mean, we saw that in the one still we got at the panel. I mean, he looks like he has a drinking problem. That's how fucked up he looks in episode 9.
Yeah. It was...
All right, so that's awesome, man. I mean, I knew there's no way they're going to start the characters of Finn, Poe, and Rey, and if they make it out of this, which I believe they will, that was just going to be it.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
I would love for a whole nother trilogy just with these people. And this is probably going to be controversial, and I don't think it's going to happen because he's gone out of his way to say it's all going to be brand new, but I would love for Ryan to to carry on their story.
Yeah, to bring them back and then build on top of it. But I think you're right.
If that's he's getting a trilogy, I'd be more than happy them being the focus. I don't think that's going to happen because everyone's gone out of their way. This is all going to be brand new. Got Duo all brand new. Blah blah blah. So next bullet point. Speaking of the Got Duo,
yeah, KOTOR era projects are being looked at in development stages. This is huge.
Not just like Kathleen straight up was asked. She didn't deny it. She said yes, they are being looked at in development, which means people are pitching shit, art's being creative, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah, dude. Like I've said multiple times,
KOTOR's happening, people.
Since the beginning of Star Wars time, since the beginning of the Entertainment Buddha Star Wars cast, I've said that.
Well, this is your shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of your favorite eras of Star Wars, I believe. I mean, because you even went on, you didn't just do KOTOR 1 and 2. You went on to play the MMO.
I played the MMO. I read.
You're still playing it.
I was really, like, I typically resub once a year just to play some of the new content, get caught up on the game, level up all 8 of my characters, all 8 characters, all dark side variants, all max level.
Oh, and look, and he tries to play himself off as a light side user.
Look, okay, I'm just saying the dark side powers are very fun in video games.
It's hard when I'm in the room. My dark side energy is pretty
very
fucking
powerful,
strong.
very powerful. I've been there in person. It's overwhelming. Tempting.
Yeah.
Tempting. But KOTOR era projects in development, being looked at in development. This is what we wanted for the Game of Thrones duo, Weiss and Benioff. I mean. This is the type of thing.
Please let this be their project in development.
This is the type of thing that they would excel at. And I mean, even at Star Wars Celebration, seeing the amount of people who were cosplaying as Revan or Malik or Bastilla.
It's a huge error with the fans. I mean, I don't know if it's because of the resurgence with SWTS. I mean, SWTS is really the past year and a half has dedicated itself to KOTOR era.
To KOTOR era, and and then even outside of the direct KOTOR era, if we just stick in the old Republic, like if you stick in that period of time, you still have characters from the old EU like Darth Bane, Darth Xana.
All right, dude. So if they go this way, do you want unknown, brand new Old Republic, or do you want
Revan.
A Malik and Revan story, or that type of stuff?
I want Darth Revan on the big screen. Fucking purple lightsabers, Revan mask. I don't care if they change the story.
Do you want to see how he became Darth Revan? I mean, do you want to see them leave as Jedi and turn into the Sith, or do you want to just jump in, they've made their turn, or do you want nothing to do with what's told in KOTOR?
I think that what you should do is you should use KOTOR as a basis, as like this is kind of an outline for the story, but then you kind of build in your narrative, your narrative into that.
So are you retelling any of it, or are you showing stuff that was not shown in the game? So again, like I said, do we start out, if it's a trilogy, do we start out where Revan and Malik are good, and then movie 2 we see their turn, and then movie 3 we see their destruction, and it ends in him getting picked up by Karth or whatever?
Yeah, I think that would be a.
Or do we avoid the KOTOR narratives altogether?
I mean, as a hardcore KOTOR fanboy, I do want to see Revan on the big screen, but I think it is safer to just go into the Old Republic using that same mindset where it is a completely open battlefield, tons of Sith, tons of Jedi, and then telling your original story. I think that's probably the best.
I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think Revan, Malik, Malgus.
Yeah.
Really any of these fucks, Scion, Traya, Nihilus, I don't think any of them are going to make it into a live action Old Republic.
I don't think so either, which is fine because those stories were told and they were told about as well as you could tell them. So if Weiss and Benioff want to work in that era, the only thing I ask of them is respect that era for what it was, where you have the huge armies on both sides. Don't tell another story like we see now with the saga, where it's basically 2 Jedi, 2 Sith the whole time. Yeah, because we've been there, we've done that, and it's fantastic.
We need the armies of Jedis and Sith, not Attack of the Clones style.
If they need inspiration, go watch the first CG trailer for Old Republic.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Never played the game.
Yeah, that ship crashes into the Jedi Temple, and then all you see is the door open, and then 50 red lightsabers ignite.
Yes.
Like,
just they're like, fuck it, kamikaze, boom, and then they get out and they're like, oh.
I mean, and
that's exactly how I would envision Sith handling a battle plan.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking crash and kill as many people as we can. Who cares if we lose forces? And then we're going to get out and fuel on our, just be fueled with our rage and fuck shit up.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I can watch that trailer so many times, over and over.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, it was one of the most memorable spectacles I've ever seen of Star Wars in action.
It was, so KOTOR projects in development.
Please. We want a lot of that. We want it in live action. We just don't want it done in the vein of Attack of the Clones, Geonosian Arena. Please.
Yeah, not that. Anything but that.
Was not good.
Yeah.
That is not what we want to see in terms of large scale lightsaber battles.
100%.
That was really, really bad. I think that's it, because really the last bullet point here is something we already talked about. But I mean, Kennedy, like we said, pretty much reiterated what we just talked about, to where Disney, Lucasfilm, they got the message. They're probably only going to be doing one Star Wars movie a year versus trying two.
Yeah, and
all because of the Solo stuff again.
Yeah, which I think both of us are fine with that. Like, one movie a year gives.
Right, one a year's great. Yeah. If you take 3 fucking years off, I'm gonna have some problems with people.
Yeah, it will be.
I will have problems with people.
But dude, I'm happy with everything that came out from these 2 interviews with JJ and with Kathleen. And I'm looking forward to the future of Star Wars. I know a lot of people out there, I don't want to say a lot. Because I don't think it's a lot. There are some people out there who hate on it, and they're allowed to have their opinion. But like, being at Celebration with 50,000, crazy, passionate Star Wars fans, it made me realize that the people out there who are saying these negative things and putting out this bullshit, they're the minority, and people like us who were there, who were reveling in our fandom, we are the majority of Star Wars fans, and that's really who Kathleen and who Bob and all the creators of Star Wars should be focusing on. Focus on us, not them.
Thank you. Well said, Nick. Well said. So, my friends, that about does it. I mean, we wanted to just kind of put Celebration to bed. It's sad. It's over. I mean, Nick and I had to return to real life by Tuesday, but it was one hell of a celebration. I highly recommend, if you got the money, you got the time, definitely check one of these things out if you've never been to one. I mean, it's very special if you're a Star Wars fan, in particular a diehard. Because like Nick just said, it's just great. The atmosphere is fantastic. Everyone there is positive. You don't get any of the bullshit. Everyone's just happy to be there and talking to other Star Wars fans. So moving forward, we're going to maintain our awesomeness. You guys do the same. And you can do that by subscribing to our show on iTunes, Star Wars Time. Look it up. You can search for it. It should pop up within the first few rows. If you're not on iTunes, you can always get us on Google Play, Android. We got our RSS feed. If you motherfuckers want it emailed to you, we even have that going. I'm working on getting us back on the TuneIn and hopefully Spotify. We'll keep you posted on those avenues. But in the meantime, like I said, StarWarsTime.net. There's always time for Star Wars time. Say it with me, people. There's always time for Star Wars time. See, it's like a little rhyme. You can do it, right? Say it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We're trying to brainwash you. Have you figured it out yet? There's always time for Star Wars time. See, it's going to be stuck in your head. Keep saying it. And if you say it out loud. And don't forget to add a .net at the end, because we need your support. We love it. It was great seeing some fans on the show floor. We hope the next time we see even more and more people recognize us, because we are here, hopefully, to entertain you guys and gals, but also because we want to be known as Star Wars experts. I do, at least. I don't know about Nick, but I do. I crave this attention. It's a it's kind of a black hole within my soul, if you will. But you know what? I think we deserve it. I think we put on a good show. We talk about some good topics. There's no dead air. There's a little bit of comedy. There's some cats. There's some toy photography. You never know. There's something for everyone. There's always time for Star Wars time. All right, people. We love you. Keep the comments coming. Keep the subscriptions coming. The ratings, the reviews, the likes. They all help us tremendously. Trust me, I know it just seems simple, but liking videos gets us higher placements, gets us more returns and searches. Same things on posts. The more people that visit the site, the more posts will get seen naturally through searches. Same thing with the podcast. The more ratings and reviews you leave, the higher we'll go up, the more people will listen, and the more awesome this Star Wars Time community will be. So we owe that to you. Keep it up. Tell your friends. Tell your pets. Tell your grandfathers, your grandmothers, your dead family members. It doesn't matter. They need to know. StarWarsTime.net. All right. May the Force be with you always.